welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with the South African Morning. It's just gone 7:32 and the AG is about to give us another business report.
Very good morning to you, Masako. Do you save?
Am I what?
Do you save?
Of course I save.
Do you?
Because...
So you're one of the few South Africans that you've got a little savings pot there?
Yes, for me it's because of the fear of not having.
Yeah.
That's what I fear.
Yeah.
So I save.
You're very lucky. You're one of the very few South Africans that save. We've got a very bad savings culture in the country.
Honey, listen, very lucky. You know, there's some things that I really want to buy, but because of fear of having nothing,
you're forced to save
those things.
Well, that's what we're focusing on this hour, amongst other things, a savings culture in South Africa, which is virtually non-existent. So that is what we're bringing our viewers at this hour. Only 51% of South Africans are financially literate, and what's even more sobering is that South Africa has one of the lowest savings rates in the world. This is why the National Treasury, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, and the National Consumer Financial Education Committee want you to participate in the Money Smart Week, a week dedicated to empowering South Africans with financial knowledge from budgeting to investment. To tell us more, we're joined by Lyndwill Clarke, who's the head of Department for Consumer Education at the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. A very good morning to you, Lyndwill, and thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, why is Money Smart Week so important, and who should get involved?
Good morning, Refuah. Happy to be here. And as you said, South Africa has got a very bad savings culture. And as far as possible, because we're going through this economic little downturn, we're trying to get people to understand how their money works and how it functions. So Money Smart Week is a nationwide public awareness campaign. It's designed to help South Africans improve their financial knowledge and skills. And it is basically organized through the National Consumer Financial Education, whose education committee, who's chaired by National Treasury, and it's supported by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. So we partner with organizations across the country, banks, insurers, NGOs, community groups. We believe that this is not just a matter for Treasury or for the FSCA, but this is a matter for everybody in South Africa, for everybody from an educational point of view, but also everybody that has an interest in uplifting South Africans and empowering South Africans to make financial decisions.
Now, South Africa has one of the lowest savings rates, as we've just spoken about, in the world, and most people are not financially literate. Are you hoping that these workshops and presentations might change this?
Yeah, so this year, the theme is Smart Money, Financial Foundations for a Resilient Future. And we found that because people are battling these days to actually make ends meet, to make sure that they, we talk about resilience. So you want to protect your family, you want to prepare your future from financial surprises or setbacks. I'm talking about if you lose your job, you have, something happens in your life, there's a financial event, sometimes there's a divorce, or there's a financial crisis like somebody passes away in the family, you have to travel somewhere. So we're trying to get people to understand that by planning ahead, you can protect yourself, but you can also help build a future that is secure and full of possibilities for yourselves. And remember, this is not a perfect solution, but what it is about being prepared. And it starts with the small steps every day. We're talking about small steps for small cents, and that builds into bigger rands, which will help you to build wealth eventually.
Now, I mean, how does that then stand when you're looking at the current the current economic climate? We are in a cost of living crisis, and one might argue that even those small steps are difficult to take.
Yeah, look, we talk about, you spoke about the savings culture. Now, the small steps can be where you put away. Sometimes we don't even speak about savings. We talk about putting away a 10 Rand. We talk about putting away a 50 Rand every month. And remember that budgeting and planning is, whenever you start saving, it's money you can actually do without. So you put away your 50 Rand a month. After 2 or 3 months, that becomes 150 to 200 Rand. After 6 months, that is about 300 Rand. So now you've already gotten to a point where you can actually do without that money. So now you know that I can actually increase that. So the small steps means for you to go on to bigger things. Because we know that also that sometimes it's difficult to find a financial product in South Africa that tends to those that are in the lower end of the financial scale. But we need to start somewhere. And you know, we have such a great or big informal economic sector in South Africa. And if we don't look after that sector as well, and try to find people to include them into economy, because let's face it, in South Africa, cash is still king. 60% of South Africans still believe that from a day-to-day basis, sorry, I would like to just use my money, I'll use my cash, and it stays within our communities. How do we encourage people to start saving in financial instruments which they are comfortable with and which suits their needs, and then go on to create wealth or create a situation where their family is secure or their financial future is secure, and they can then look after and see how they can be more active within the economy.
Now, women are the cornerstone of families and the economy, but they continue to face significant financial hurdles. How can they get out of this continuous cycle of financial vulnerability?
Again, it starts with where you are, and we know that our women are, most of our women in South Africa, and especially in the rural areas, our women are they are the ones that are pioneering, because men often go into the cities to look for work. So again, sorry, we need to look at how we can actually start building from a solid base, looking at how we can start a small business. We are encouraging people to look at, how do I start a small business, but how do I actually stay within my budget? How do I plan my business in such a way that my personal finances don't get involved in my business? From a female and a woman perspective, we've seen a lot of our women we've seen the GBV in the country. We've seen a lot of women being abused, but we also saw that women are quite strong in terms of looking after themselves, getting out there and making sure that they protect themselves whenever they are in a relationship. We are also starting in a campaign looking at relationships and how that money actually, how that affects women in the homes and in the workplace as well. And I think to make sure that you understand how your finances work. Financial literacy, I think, is one of the cornerstones of making sure that you don't become vulnerable in the future, making sure that you stay informed, but making sure that you also become not just literate, but capable of handling your financial expenses. Because once you reach that capability, it is a difference between buying that name tag jeans versus the jeans that you can just afford and don't have to buy on credit.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for those insights. Lyndwill Clarke is the head of Department for Consumer Education at the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. With that, here's a look at how you